Good evening, everybody! Welcome to round 7 of our 1986 F1 series, coming to you from downtown Detroit, Michigan, USA. Cars are heading around now on their warm-up laps in full tanks for this race. That would include trim, making sure that they know how the cars are going to behave going into today's race. I'm Jason White. I'll be your play-by-play announcer. I do not yet have a color commentator, but if I have to do the race solo, so be it. Welcome everybody on YouTube who's watching us. You can see we're watching Giovanni Centorami here, who's got a guest drive for Benetton. I think this is the first time he's run with Benetton this time out, so we'll see what happens. Whoops! KO ran into the barrier there. There's a funny story behind that barrier also. So, when we talk about tracks that are equalizers in terms of emphasizing driver skill over the car's performance, we basically have two of these on our F1 calendar. Monaco is one of them. This is the other one. It's a concrete canyon that's replete with right-angled bends and bumpy tarmac, demanding extreme precision from the drivers for all 63 laps that we're going to be running around this circuit. It's also a track that can produce an upset. Granted, Ayrton Senna won here 3 times, but this is also the sort of track that will give you really weird results at times. It is the track that gave us the last Ford Cosworth DFV engine victory. It was also the last Tyrrell victory by Michele Alboreto in 1983. John Watson climbed from 17th on the grid to win the first Detroit Grand Prix, which even as I say that fact, it sounds impossible. As you might imagine, starting up front here is without a doubt very desirable, and those in the front row are going to be hoping for a clean, uncluttered lap 1. We'll wait and see what transpires. With that in mind, let me run down the top 10 for you as qualifying expired. Usual suspects, but also some surprises littered here and here throughout the starting grid. On the pole, no surprise, Jules Bouchard with a time of 1 minute 36.554. Excuse me. In second, about 3/10 back is John Team. Third, Jonathan Assercliffe. Fourth, Juha Boss. Fifth, Cesarius Lipinski in the Team Haas USA entry. Sixth, Richard Coxon. 7th, Grant Radal. 8th, Gabriel Del Piccolo. 9th, Anders Nilsson. And 10th, Oscar Team. That's the top 10 heading into today's Detroit Grand Prix. That's how the grid will shape up for the top 10. See, Grant is currently fastest on full tanks, which is interesting. So, and here we are looking at Jules. The main story of the day, obviously, is the return of Jules Bouchard after serving a 1-race suspension. His Lotus Renault is pretty well equipped to traverse this circuit because it has very nimble handling, but more important is the fact that Jules feels at home here. He's been lapping over a second faster than his nearest competitors during practice this week. It narrowed down considerably for qualifying. And he'll be really keen to pick up where he left off at Spa and notch another win, continuing his march towards a potential series title. But at the same time, he's got to be careful not to get caught up in another start line incident because the ISO admins have made it clear that they will be watching. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that. Another driver to keep an eye on, if I can find him here, is Juha Boss, who is running around the track now in his Ferrari. He's coming off of his win in the Canadian Grand Prix, very popular win, obviously, for the crowd there. And he'll be anxious to keep the Scarlet Red car up front and keep the momentum going. Now, the configuration of this track won't allow for his Ferrari to fully spread its wings, but then again, going back to that equalizer factor, it's the same problem for everybody up and down the grid. In any case, I think Juha definitely possesses the skill to do well on a technical circuit like Detroit. We see him here traversing the circuit. He's got a couple of cars in front of him here. Traffic is obviously going to be a huge problem here. It always is at street circuits, but it's going to be a massive problem going into this. He's got two cars right in front of him here. He's got to find a way by them. Here he goes up alongside, going into Woodbridge. Clears, well, almost clears one of them, but he just can't quite get by. Now he's by. Heading down to I-75. Left-hander here. There was a yellow flag there just slightly. But in any case, we will be keeping an eye on Juha in this race. Another interesting item to consider, at least with the Grand Prix as it ran historically, is that in the real-life 1986 Detroit Grand Prix, the Ligiers of René Arnoux and Jacques Lafitte took turns leading the race, believe it or not. John Team will be hoping to emulate history, as his number 25 Ligier has been posting competitive practice times during the week, and he is on the front row, as it turns out. So it'll be interesting to see who gets to the first corner first when the green light goes on. In the sister car, the guy you're watching right now, Oscar Team, he's going to be looking to turn around his season, which has had more than its share of bad luck. And he's also been running competitive race laps. Earlier, he was just outside the top 5, but at the end of qualifying, he's qualified 10th. So it'll be interesting to see how he does in the race compared to John Team. Of course, that's a unique situation. You got two family members running the same team, so they can share numbers and work together, which I'm sure is quite advantageous at times. Now, on paper, this is a circuit that you would figure would not suit the Brabhams at all, and I'm looking for one of them here on track. Oops. Juha lost a wheel there. Good to get the accidents out of the way now before you actually start the race. Well, here's Grant going on to the circuit. This isn't a circuit that you would think would suit the Brabhams, because they are long and low and really more designed for high-speed circuits. But having said that, both Grant and his teammate Gabriel Del Piccolo have been quick in practice. They have been chomping at the bit, and both are going to be looking to assert their BMW power, which gets off the line quite well when the light turns green. For his part, Grant needs to figure out a way to stop his engine from exploding. He's had barbecues in several races, and he really needs to get rid of that tendency if he wants to contend for the title. Hello, Barry Lynn. Good to see you. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on. Now, on the subject of tires, this is a circuit that obviously is going to chew them up. Richard Coxon, our tire expert, has often pointed out that any tire can run the race distance, which of course on its surface seems rather an odd assertion. So let's dive deeper into what he actually means by this. Richard says that regarding strategy, we are probably thinking to ourselves, well, a full tire can make the distance, why pit? The answer lies in the fact that the new tires are so grippy to begin with and offer more grip and speed than 30% worn tires. Most of the time, the fresher rubber will gain back the time that you lose if you went into for a pit stop. Driver's goal is to complete the race as quick as possible, and usually a pit stop is the best way to go about doing that, as the fresher rubber will help you gain much more time. It makes overtaking much easier too because you can get better traction from a corner and braking later. But to clarify, drivers are not pitting because their tires are worn. That is not the reason why. They're pitting because they can be much quicker on fresher tires. As I believe someone has just joined me in the booth. I cannot see who it is. Let's see. It is Richard Wilks. Are you there, Richard?
Sorry, I am.
Okay.
Hello, Jason.
Hi.
I figured that I'm trying still to join the session. I figure that I'm here for now, and you are alone in the booth. So why not come here and give you a hand in this?
Oh well, you're always welcome in the booth. Yeah, I was just going through the notes that Richard gave us on the tires, and he's quite right in pointing out that it's not that you're pitting because the tires are worn out. You're pitting because fresher tires are faster tires, and you gain so much more time on the circuit driving fresher tires than you would if you just simply stayed out on old tires. The time that you lose going into the pits is much less compared to the gain on newer tires. That's the primary reason why we have pit stops, not because the tires are worn. So that's what he means when he says that any tire can do the race distance. It can. The difference is you'll just be very slow.
Yes, that is correct. There is a certain point beyond which the wear on the tires and the subsequent drop in pace is not worth it anymore, and you better pit for tires then, because the lap time potential that you can gain by pitting for new tires offsets the time you're going to lose in the pits.
True.
On the course of the whole race.
Yeah.
So that's what that means indeed. Of course, if you try to run the whole race with the same set of tires, what he means by that is that you're not going to blow your tire, or the tire is not going to go all the way down to the canvas possibly, but of course there will be a drop off in grip, and I can add to what he said that if you're running the softer tires, for example, that drop off might be more dramatic than if you're running a harder compound. So this is something that you need to, as a driver, you either need to have practice laps before to see how the different compounds will behave, or you need to have a feel for the car to know that you're losing too much time at the moment, and you better go for the pits.
All right, well, here we have Grant Riddall, who's about to complete a lap, and we can go for one lap of the Detroit circuit with Grant Riddall as he goes into the pump house turn, exits now, onto the straight that runs along the Detroit River, and now he's going to do a little flick left and right into a chicane. Now he is on the... Oh, well, thanks a lot, Grant. He just comes to a stop. Let's see if we can find somebody else. Okay, here's another one. Richard Coxon going through the tunnel. He's coming to about the same spot, and now he's going to turn at the pump house turn. One of the Wattmans stopped there. Okay, now Coxon is going to go through the left-right that we just saw with Grant. And now he's starting a lap of the circuit. This is the start-finish area by the river. And now we have this long left-hand semicircular bend, which in reality is part of a parking lot. Now heading back to... Oh, good grief. I can't find anybody who's doing a full lap. All right, let's try Anders then. Anders coming out of the tunnel again. Watch, he'll come to a stop. Turning right here, then left at the pump house turn. And Anders is driving one of the USA Team Haas entries through the flick. Now going down the start-finish line. We're getting a little bit of ping error there because somebody joined. Now he heads into the first and second turn, which are a semicircular turn in a parking lot. Now heading back to the west, or southwest, and he's going to stop. Yeah, okay, fine. All right, I guess we're just going to have to watch. Well, here goes Jonathan. Let's see if he's going to continue a lap. This is getting comical. No, he's going to stop too. All right. Well, we're 2 minutes to go in the race anyway, so maybe that's just as well.
Yes, well, it is a long and twisty track, so I guess it's kind of hard to find someone who will do the whole way.
All right, well, let's use the time that we have then to take a look at the drivers' points as they stand right now. Jules Bouchard, despite his one race penalty, is in the lead with 36 points. Juha Boss is in second with 25 points. Third is Ray Rodal with 16 points. Fourth is David Saber with 15 points. And then fifth is Gabriel Del Piccolo with 13 points. So it tightened up a little bit as far as the championship is concerned. In the constructor standings, John Player Special is in first place with 43 points. Scuderia Ferrari is in second with 37. Marlboro McLaren International is third with 31. Fourth is Motor Racing Developments with 16 points. And then Benetton Formula is in fifth with 10 points. Coming up at ISO next week, April 23rd, we have Pro Cars once again, this time at the Zandvoort circuit, which is very interesting to run with these cars. You're basically trying to shift the weight back and forth at opportune moments. A fun circuit to drive if you are used to the little flicks back and forth and the high speed, but you're aiming for a very narrow band to be as quick as you possibly can. So that should be an interesting race to watch. I assume Jonathan's going to be running it. But also, we want to remind everybody that this is April, and so the magical month of May, not very far around the corner, is it, Richard?
No, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. No, it's not. It's not. I believe that there are going to be news about that after this race, even.
Yes, we're starting the. We're going to be starting the server on Monday. Well, we'll probably start the server tonight just to make sure that everything is running properly. The thread will go up tomorrow for the Indianapolis 500 time trials, which in and of itself is a fantastic event because it's the 4-lap averages to get you into the 500. We make a big spectacle out of it, as it always was back then. It's Indy qualifying for the 500 is not nearly as big of a deal as these days as it used to be, but we'll be looking forward to that event. That's going to be on May 7th. We're going to allow a full week for people to practice with the cars before they make their selections so they can select the car that suits them best. But one other thing before we go to the race session, trivia question for you to ponder. Amazingly, which of the following world champions did not qualify for the first Detroit Grand Prix in 1982? Is it A, Nelson Piquet, B, Alan Jones, or C, K.K. Rosberg? We'll have the answer for you later on in the broadcast. All right, cars are going to be going to the grid, but I guess we lost somebody because I think Juha sent it back to the warm-up.
Yes, yes. The driver just joined now, so maybe we'll be going soon.
Okay.
Yes, I believe we will.
All right, cool. So we'll be switching over to the race session in a moment. Going back to the...
Yes, this will be an attrition race, in my understanding, because from what I know, the engines run hot in these streets. Not many big straights for them to cool off. So there will be a big degree of management of that, just like it was at Monaco, for example.
Yeah, absolutely. We may see a very odd result. You never know. But we'll see what happens here. Both Jules Bouchard and John Team will be determined to get to the first corner first. So the cars are lining up on the grid now. Jules Bouchard has not joined the grid yet. He obviously wants to preserve the engine as much as he can. The clock is... I can't see the clock for when they're supposed to be on the grid, but I can only see the time has run out for... or the time is actually a clock that goes up instead of down in this case. Okay, and now he's on the grid. So we're going to be going through the grid for you as they peel away. And there goes Jules off on the parade lap. So on the pole, Jules Bouchard, John Player Special Team Lotus with a time of 1 minute 36.554. In second, only 0.3 of a second back, John Team, Equipe Ligier. Third, Jonathan Asserclinth for Scuderia Ferrari. And fourth is Juha Boss, winner of the Canadian Grand Prix, also in his Ferrari. So we've got Ferraris on the second row. Fifth, And starting from the pit lane, my goodness, he's going to start next to Chris Economaki. There is Cezary Lipinski. So that's really unfortunate. He had a top 5 qualifying result, and now that's all gone to nothing. He has to start dead last and be released. That's really.
I think Juha is also starting from the pit lane, so we're going to have a queue.
I don't understand why this happens. It's clear when you're supposed to join the grid. Am I missing something here?
The only other reason why this would happen is if when they are on the grid, the car stalls. Because then you cannot just start it, because these cars don't have a starter motor.
Right.
So if you stall on the grid, then you have to get out of the grid. And if you don't have time to come back, then you have to start from the
Because it's happening a lot this year. I really don't understand it. And with specific people, too. Like Oscar Team has had 2 starts in the pit lane. Anyway, 6th on the grid, Richard Coxon, Benetton Formula. 7th, Grant Riddall, Motor Racing Developments. That is unusual. We're going back now to the... we're going back to the start again. I'm not sure why. Someone must have, again... fell out of the order, so we're going to try it one more time. Juha's being very generous with the restarts, but you're right when you say, Richard, that this is going to be a race of attrition. Obviously, because of the tight confines, we can expect a low finishing order, probably on the order of Monaco. We're going to see.
Yes. Absolutely.
Not too big of a question. I appreciate you joining me in the booth because this is going to make covering this race easier because it's very hard to maintain in a normal Grand Prix attention on all the action that's going on. It's even harder when it's a track like this where there's action everywhere. So
no problem. I had some time now, so I decided even if I couldn't be all the way up to the end, at least the time that I have, I can be here.
All right, so there they go off in the grid. We'll try this one more time. On the pole, Jules Bouchard, John Player Special Team Lotus. Second is John Team, Equipe Ligier. Third, Jonathan Asserklin, Scuderia Ferrari, and his teammate in fourth, Juha Boss. Fifth, Cezary Lipinski, and he got away this time. Team Haas USA. Sixth, Richard Coxon, Benetton Formula. Seventh, Grant Riddall. Surprised to see him that far down the grid. Motor Racing Developments. 8th is his teammate, Gary Bale Del Piccolo, Motor Racing Developments. 9th, Anders Nilsson, Team Haas USA. 10th, Oscar Team, Equipe Ligier. 11th, Ray Riddall, Marlboro McLaren International. 12th, Giovanni Centorami in a guest drive for Benetton, I believe. 13th, and starting from the pit lane is Luciano Rocha, John Player Special Team Lotus. 14th, Francisco Amaral for Cannon Williams. 15th, look at that. We got many cars lining up in order of team. That's interesting. Keo McKeel's 15th for Cannon Williams Honda team. 16th, David Saber, the winner of the Brazilian Grand Prix, Marlboro McLaren International. 17th, Alan Santo, Minardi team. 18th, Peter Hlavich, Barclay Aeros BMW. 19th, Bruno Chacon, Barclay Aeros BMW. 20th, Matthew Sibignani, Data General Team Tyrrell. 21st, Simon Watman, Ocella Squadra Course. 22nd, David Watman, West Zach Speed Racing. 23rd, Rob DeVries, Jolly Club AGS. 24th, Paolo Rossetti, Ocella Squadra Course. And rounding out the field, I believe, is Jan Kowalski for Data General Team Tyrrell. That is indeed the grid.
Yes, we lost Dario Appa because he had some problem with the wheel, and the race needs to proceed.
Right.
So,
well, I always look forward to this race. We're looking forward to an exciting Detroit Grand Prix. I'm obviously geeked about it because this is my hometown, the Motor City. So much automotive history has been made in Southeast Michigan, Richard, and despite this circuit's less than ideal nature for open-wheel cars, a lot of racing history has been made on these mean streets. I mentioned the last Tyrrell and 4 DFV victories were here. Ayrtonson has won 3 times on this circuit. 2 IndyCar wins by Emerson Fittipaldi, including one where when he overtakes for the lead, he has all 4 tires off of the deck. In the process, I kid you not, it was like a rodeo. You have to go find it on YouTube. It's 91, I believe. This was also the site of the infamous Andretti family safety car pileup, which happened on, I believe, the 4th turn, and that was in 1991. the last year for the Detroit Grand Prix on this circuit. And then after that, it moved to Belle Isle. It was there for 30 years on and off. And it moves back downtown again for the IndyCar Series this year. It's not the same configuration as the old circuit, but they're going to have the same kind of problems. Concrete canyon, right angle bends, manhole covers, bumps all over the place. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Cars are pulling onto the grid now. And I'm going to get us a good viewing angle here for the start, because it's not always the best angle. Oh, here we go. Stand by for the start of the Detroit Grand Prix. And the race is underway. Oh my goodness. Looks like Jules might have held up the field there a bit, but look at that. John Team up the inside. Is he going to take the lead going into the corner? No, it appears. Well, actually, yes, he is. John Team on the inside, taking the lead, it appears. Oh my goodness, we have a collision already, and I believe it was oh, Jules is pulling off the track. He's got some kind of damage already, and he's holding up the rest of the cars behind him. And I believe we had a Benetton that was deranged back there somewhere. Oh my goodness, Grant Riddall makes contact with somebody. So already we have a rather...
Benetton just spun in front of everybody.
Oh my goodness. So we already have a really action-packed start to the Detroit Grand Prix. But John Team got the start that he wanted, and he is in the lead. Juha Boss in second place. Bouchard in third, Assercombe fourth, Schlapinski fifth, Oscar Team all the way up to sixth from 10th on the grid. Seventh is Anders Nilsson, eighth is Ray Riddall, ninth Grant Riddall, and 10th Del Piccolo. That's where they are at the moment as John Team's heading down to Cobo Hall.
Disaster start for the Benetton team, because both of them had problems and both of them are very down the field now.
My goodness, Grant Riddall going up the inside of Ray Riddall takes the position, and you see them all sprinting down to Cobo Hall right now. Some of them in the same orders where they started, but some people made some advances, yeah. And now we can see, yes, here is the one of the Benettons running dead last. That is Centurami. You wonder how much damage he has in that car. As here comes John Team out of the final turn and into the chicane. John Team leads the Detroit Grand Prix. As we zoom in here are the rest of them coming through. Juha Boss, Bouchard, Assercliff, Oscar Team. Very impressive start. He's at the fifth now. Then the two Haas USA entries of Schlapinski and Nilsson, sixth and seventh. Other than that, it appears that everybody is doing all right. I don't see any pit lane visitors yet.
As far as I could see, nobody touched anything, nobody had big damage, so everybody's rolling.
Yeah, Centurami continues, so apparently nobody going for the pits. So team has got an excellent lead so far, and it's I think that's largely due to Bouchard checking up early on in lap one, and that kind of bottled up people behind him. But it's a 5-second lead now between first and second. Juha Boss coming through here. Assercliff trying to hold off Bouchard. Bouchard was ahead of him briefly. Then we have Nilsson and Grant Riddall. Riddall splitting the two, and Oscar Team running a little slower.
Oscar Team has a puncher. He has a puncher. He just spun.
His bad luck continues. We were just talking about how great it was that Oh my goodness,
no, that was not a good move.
Oh, this is not good. Oscar Team is stuck in the middle of the track and he's out of the race. Let's see how that happened. Oscar, yeah, here he is. He spins coming out of Podium, I believe. And he tries to get going again, turns around, but he runs right into one of the Tyrrells, I believe. There's so little room around here to get the car turned around once you've been in an accident, and he realized he was in a pretty serious situation. That's really too bad because he was up to fifth. He had such a good race going to start with. That's got to be gut-wrenching. But we do see that Grant Riddall is moving up the field. He is now up to fifth place. He's past the two Haas USA entries. So we might look to, got to keep an eye on Grant because it looks like he has some really good pace here to start the race. I mentioned earlier.
Well, we know Grant is the driver that likes to be in front, so yes, I'm not surprised that he tries to make moves so early.
Yeah, not surprising to me at all. Of course, Grant has had trouble finishing races, so he's got to keep an eye on that. But in any case, yeah, he's definitely moving up from his 7th place starting position. And he got that position, by the way, at the very, very last minute, just as qualifying expired. I had written down my qualifying sheet watching what was going on, and he crossed the line after the clock had expired and notched his 7th place starting position. So I missed it. And then Juha sent me a message and showed me what he had on his sheet. And I'm like, oh, okay. Grant's starting 7th then.
That's good teamwork from Juha there. Meanwhile, Richard Coxon is going through the field and he's now harassing K.O. McKeels.
Let's see if I can find him. There he is. Yes, right behind K.O. McKeels as they're on Woodward for just a brief moment. Now onto Jefferson Avenue, heading down towards Cobo Hall. And Coxon definitely looks like he's faster at this point than K.O. McKeels. K.O. brushes the wall at Cobo Hall, but there wasn't really any room there for Coxon to slip by. He's looking for an opportunity here as they head down towards the Detroit Princess Riverboat. Now under Hart Plaza. Here comes Coxon. He's going to try to overtake going into the pump house turn. No, he's really not in the best spot to do it right now. Although KO runs straight on. That's not the right way to take that corner. And Coxon seizes the opportunity and gets alongside, but just does not have the room. They ran into the... I don't know what's wrong with KO's car, but he seems to be having some brake balance issues as they head into turn 1 once more. But definitely Coxon has got him rattled. He's probably hoping at this point he can force him into making some kind of mistake.
Yes, I think it's clear that Coxon has more pace. I think he has a very strong pace for this race, but for now he's stuck behind KO and he's losing time.
Yeah, he's definitely losing a lot of time to the cars ahead of KO. As we look from KO's car over the rear wing, you can see how much Coxon's chomping at the bit trying to get by as they head through one of the more picturesque parts of the circuit, the greenery on Congress. And now they head left, then back to the right one more time. We're going under Millender Center next. All right, Coxon may have an opportunity here. He's got a little bit of a roll. You can see how the shifts, as soon as you take your foot off the accelerator, the car just bucks back and forth. Onto Woodward, now back towards Jefferson. But yeah, definitely Coxon wants to get by, but there's just not the right opportunity presenting itself right now.
Meanwhile, Grant is attacking Jules. Still not done with moving up the field, and he's
no, I wouldn't think so.
All over Jules.
Jules has slipped to 4th, actually. Yeah, I'm wondering if he's running with some kind of damage after the start. But there goes Grant, sails by like Jules is parked, practically. But I don't know, Jules might fight back here. But Grant definitely in a very racy mood today. He's actually going to be catching up with the Ferrari team in a second here. But Grant very definitely ensconced in 4th place now, as Jules drops to 5th place. And there's a car that's on fire. I believe it's one of the Ferraris. It is. It's Juha Boss. The car is in flames, and he is out of the race. Let's have a replay here, see where this actually happened. He was actually ahead of his teammate when it occurred. There's the flame. And Jonathan, unfortunately, is able to get out of the way of the car in advance. But, oh, that's just too bad for Juha. He is out of the race and into the booth. Juha comes. Juha, really sorry for the early barbecue. We saw it just now in our broadcast, but that's just too bad.
Yeah, wasn't running any boost, was not revving it, was hoping for reliability. Well, engine didn't exactly agree.
Well, that's too bad. We're sorry to see that. John Team continues to lead now, and he has got a gap of, incredibly, of 14 seconds to your teammate, Jonathan Asserclinth. It'll be interesting to see if John can keep this up. A lot of the gap that he got at the start, he had a 5-second gap at the end of lap 1, and a lot of that had to do with the drama that was going on behind him. We'll see if Jonathan can close that gap now, but he's got a very racy Grant Riddall closing on him fast. Grant's been picking off cars left and right ever since the green light went on, and this is going to be very interesting to see how Grant. Look at how much he's closing. The closure rate is incredible on Jonathan. I don't know if he's going to be able to hold him back. We'll see what happens. Up the hill.
Well, looks really motivated.
Oh, he is. He's been very motivated since the start of the race. Very racy. As they head down to the I-75 overpass, now into Congress. Now a left-hand turn onto Beaubien Street, back towards Larned. And this is the Millender Center overpass. We saw early on how you can easily get it out of shape here, braking from one of these right-hand bends. KO was having all kinds of problems getting slowed down for some of these low-speed corners, but here we are at Kobo, and it definitely looks like Grant is kind of sizing up Jonathan here. Oops, it looks like Jonathan just clipped the barrier a little bit here. You don't want to do that too often. And so did Grant. It's really hard to keep.
John just left the Saxby running around the front ring. Don't know what happened there.
Oh no.
That's David Watman.
Alright, as they come out of, looks like Jonathan got a better exit out of that turn there, so we'll see now if Grant is able to catch him back up again. And John Team is playing right into his hands. Okay, here's David Watman, you're right. One of the Osella Squadra course entries, making room for the leaders. Good job for David to do that. But now here comes Grant. He's looking up the inside of Jonathan, looking for an opportunity. Can't find it. And really, on a street course like this, you don't have to do too much to make it difficult for the person behind you. You just have to place your car just a little bit offline, and that's all it takes.
Yeah.
All right, they've got some cars in front of them here. I think these are cars that, well, they're at the tail end of the field, but that's David Watman. And you mentioned he's without a wing.
Again,
okay. Oh my goodness, lots of tire smoke up here as Sibignani has a really hard time entering the Woodward corner, and now we're heading on to Jefferson. That could have been very serious there. There's not a lot of room to get out of the way here.
Richard Coxon is out of the race. I don't know what's
Oh
happening.
no! Coxon's out. Kowalski is out. Both of them.
Kowalski is also out.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will try to find out.
So now they're back by the river again, going through the tunnel. Yeah, Grant really wants to get... here's another yellow flag. Not sure what this is for. Oh, there's a car stopped at the exit of the chicane. It's Paolo Rossetti. And he's not going anywhere, so apparently he's out of the race.
Well, and Richard basically went straight on at the slowest corner of the track.
Maybe an engine problem?
Well, doesn't look like an engine. Well, no, his engine was still running when he...
Well,
maybe a bit of flag.
The game says suspension, but maybe he had some other problem.
No, it's definitely an accident.
Interesting. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. As
it's a very tricky track. If you make a small mistake, it can have big consequences. It can end your race in an instant.
Kowalski is the engine, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, at least...
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have information on that at least. But, yeah, Grant swarming all over the back of Asserclinth here, trying to find a way by. But... Oh, here he goes. He's going to try the Emerson Fittipaldi move from 1991. Doesn't get it done. Oh, my goodness. Very, very close.
And Paolo Rossetti also blew his engine in Osella.
Yeah, we saw him at the chicane there. Yeah, but that's I figured it was an engine blow up. Grant Riddall.
Well, let's not forget that this race might be very far from over. I mean, this is just lap 8 to 63, and although John Tim has a big lead, he also had a big lead at Monaco, and then we found out that he wasn't taking proper care of his engine.
Yes, that's
so
true.
Anything can happen still.
Well, John at this point has got a massive lead of 16.7 seconds, so I mean, really, he can afford to cool it just a little bit. Of course, we're not privy to his tire strategy. We don't know what he plans to do. As they cross the start-finish line once again, gotta say, Jonathan's doing an excellent job of holding station and just, I mean, he's basically forcing Grant to find a way around. He's not making it easy for him. Grant almost had him down by the Coleman Young Municipal Center, but he just couldn't get alongside, and Jonathan held his line, was not intimidated by Grant.
No, he's not. Jonathan is really keeping it very cool, just driving his line. And if you drive your line on this track, it's very hard for the guy behind to actually find a way around you.
Exactly.
And as you can see, and there's, of course, one can say, but you can turn the boost. Well, yes, you can turn the boost, but the problem is if you turn the boost too much, you might risk overheating your engine around here. And then it's very hard to actually make it cool again, because then you have to slow down, try to slow down to make it cool again, and you are at the mercy of the guy you just passed come back at you in some way.
Same thing holds true for the tires, I would think. Once you've overheated them, you have to give them time to cool down, and that means driving slower.
Yes. And we can see that Grant, coming out of some of these corners, the Brabham doesn't have the best traction, and we can see the rear kicking out, and that's not good for his rear tires either.
They got another lap car they have to deal with here, Alan Santo.
Sportingly moves out of the way.
Yes, very well done. Interesting to see how many different lines there are through this first and second turn. Some people let it all hang out and go to the very far end of the turn and try to get a really, really good launch off the turn. Others do more of an oval racing type entry into the corner where it's a longer arc. I guess it depends on your driving style and what the car wants to do. But Jonathan definitely giving us a great show here. Wow, look at how close Grant comes to the wall there. That wall has moved considerably back to give room for the cars as they come off that corner, but even as far off the line as it is, it's not enough for some of them.
But behind these two, now Anders is all over the back of Jules Bouchard too.
Gabriel Piccolo is not far behind now.
Yeah,
exactly.
Gabriel. We'll see if he hasn't charged through the field with the same gusto as his teammate has, but yeah, Bouchard has definitely got Anders Nilsson to deal with now. Anders driving. Sorry, go ahead.
I wonder if Jules is thinking, because I'm out of the race, he can increase the gap rather easily if he just maintains where he is. And he doesn't have to go looking for the guys in front, because he'll outscore me anyway.
Possibly.
That is true, yes. You are second in the championship, but you're off. So he might be thinking that he's better off hanging back, seeing what happens in terms of reliability, and make sure he finishes.
It's possibly true. We'll have to see what happens, but looks like he's holding his own against Nilsson at the moment. Meanwhile, it's the same story in second and third. Here comes Grant again, now looking on the outside. That's not really the best place to pass right there. But he's definitely showing Anders that that he's showing Asselklint that he's there, and he's not giving up. Meanwhile, the gap is slowly increasing. It's 16 seconds now between the second place car and the leader. It'll be interesting to see what happens to that gap if and when Grant can get by Jonathan. More lap cars ahead of this group. Okay, this is where he tried to pass him before. And he's going to try again. Down the inside. Is he going to get him this time? Yes, locks up, but gets him. He definitely gets by, no problem. Oh my goodness. Well, so Grant is finally by. And now he can set off.
Now we will. Yes, now we will see if he prefers to hang back now in front of Jonathan, or if he will try to speed up with a possibly engine-risking pace to try to catch up John. He has a choice to make now.
Well, given where he was behind Jonathan before, it didn't look like he was using his full speed or his full power of his engine. So now he's at a point where he can actually use the BMW power to its fullest, at least around this circuit. And the gap is now 15 seconds, so already it's starting to come down. Bouchard is maintaining 4th place ahead of Del Piccolo. Although Del Piccolo now looks like he's closing. Jules had slowed for a lapped car there, so Del Piccolo senses an opportunity here. He brakes a little late going into the 3rd turn there. And here he is now following Jules onto Woodbridge, and now looking for a place to get by. This is the part right here by the freeway where they swing really wide. Doesn't use all the road there, but Grant was using all of that road and then some not long ago.
And it seems Del Piccolo, maybe spurred by the fact that Grant is now in 2nd, decided to move up the field himself.
He missed a shift there quite noticeably as they head into the left-right at Woodward. Back now to Cobo Hall.
You don't want to do too many of those.
Nope. Especially not with this engine. Down to Cobo Hall. Left-hand turn. Past Cobo Arena. Now down through this section, which does not exist anymore, unfortunately. One of the more interesting aspects of the Detroit circuit will not be part of the new one because geographically that part doesn't exist at this point.
That is a shame.
Yeah, things have changed along the riverfront since 1991.
Seems Grant answered my question by just posting the fastest lap of the race.
There you go. There you go. Not surprising. And my guess is, look at this. He's got a definite roll, but he tries to get...
He thought about it.
Yeah, he had to think about it, and it didn't quite work. Oh, here,
looking nice. There he goes.
Looks up the inside. Oh, is he going to get it done? No, he's not.
No.
Bouchard holds the line.
Making his presence felt, though.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I doubt he's going to try to get it next turn, but I think we can expect something in the end of the straight up follows it.
Yep, here comes...
Well, he's dropping back now. Would Bouchard have done
another gear.
Yeah.
Piccolo missed another gear there, quite in a very bad spot, so...
Yeah.
You can notice how much he struggles with traction in that car.
Yeah.
Coming out of these low corners, it rears all over the place.
Yeah, it only took that little interaction with lap cars, and now that gave Bouchard more room. Now Nilsson is closing in. Oh, and now we know why Richard Coxon didn't finish. His wheel disconnected.
Yeah, well, no.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, hardware issue.
Happened with me once, also, so that's very unfortunate. I reckon he was, although he was far behind then, I reckon he could still be there at the end this time, so that was a shame.
Well, in any case, now we got an interesting battle shaping up between Del Piccolo, who was trying to get by Jules and isn't really in a position to do that right now, but he's being followed by Anders Nilsson. And Anders Nilsson is driving the hometown car here. You see all the Ford advertisements all over the circuit. This is the home race for Ford, obviously, so they're really anxious to see this car do well. And in the Hansbanders, Nielsen's in 6th place, the last points-paying position. And Shlupinski also doing well, is in 7th place. He's not far behind, so I'm sure that...
Gabriele is getting really close to Jules now.
Now he is, yeah.
And then he climbs the wall. Well, commentator's curse.
Can't do that too many times around here.
Ooh,
This group is really close together.
Well,
yeah.
Might be able to do the same kind of pass that his teammate did here. Let's see.
It looks like it's trying, but Bouchard's got the inside line for it.
No, he can't do it here. And Nielsen is, and you see just that small, the try there to get by Bouchard was enough for Nielsen to close back up again. If you make an attempt to pass here and are not successful, whoever's behind you has suddenly got an excellent opportunity. It's so weird to be calling this race and know all of the places around here, like the back of my hand. I was born and raised in this town, and I have to force myself to not go, oh look, there's that, and there's this, you know.
And there's that's Gabriele.
Around the outside, he makes contact and goes, oh my goodness.
Oh, that didn't go as intended.
That was not as intended, and now Anders is all over the back of Del Piccolo. Let's have a look at that in a replay. That was a rather...
I think Del Piccolo tried to shut the door too early on Jules, basically.
Yeah, he comes around the outside, and that's exactly what happened. Mr. Wilks is absolutely right. Del Piccolo tried to... His spotter was taking a potty break, maybe, and he didn't see that he was closing the door too early. But, goodness.
Yes, and with all this, basically, Anders is just hanging back and seeing what's going to happen, because Del Piccolo seems very ragged at the moment, getting very impatient about Jules. And he doesn't want to do that too many times around here, because he was lucky that in turn 1 there's quite a bit of runoff. But if it was in any of these other turns, he would have been in the wall.
Yeah. So now Nielsen's really harrying Del Piccolo down by Cobo Hall, looking for the right opportunity. But then looking forward from Del Piccolo, we see Jules Bouchard. So it's a 3-car freight train. Meanwhile, Jonathan is riding in 3rd place by himself very comfortably. And this is interesting. The gap is actually increased between Grant and John Team. It's now 19 seconds.
Yes, John Team responded.
John's asking for his engine.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's the worry, because he responded to Grant, although he had more than a 20-second gap. And I wonder if that's the wise move to do, because I think you would be better off managing that gap already.
Yeah, we haven't even had pit stops yet either, so he's probably thinking about that too. He's probably thinking, if I can pull up enough of a gap here, then I can take my pit stop and maybe stay in the lead. But again, the engine life is a concern as we see this 3-car freight train continuing here. Bouchard, Del Piccolo, Nielsen. Nielsen really taking a look at Del Piccolo now as they go on to Congress.
It seems Bouchard and Del Piccolo got it into each other's way a bit there, and Anders could close really up to Del Piccolo now. Although I think Mendes maybe seeing what's happening in front of him, he might be being cautious now about making a move himself, because it seems that Jules and especially Del Piccolo are very hell-bent on getting the upper hand on this scenario here.
Yep.
Now coming up to a back marker, which might be...
That's the AGS again.
Rob DeVries in the AGS. Heading left now. Rob is making, well, he's trying to make some room.
Making-
He let Bouchard go by, but he didn't have the space to let Del Piccolo by.
Oh, that's a bit annoying. Well, obviously, oh, then he hits the wall.
See, yeah, I mean, as a back marker here, it's difficult because
Yeah, it's a dilemma. What do you do?
you can't vaporize, and the net result of that is that we have Bouchard pulled out a bit of a gap there now between himself and Del Piccolo, just because they arrived at that lap car at that point. Sometimes it just isn't as clean as you'd like.
No, I don't think Gabriella's going to leave too much time before retaliating on that, or recovering it, more like.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I think it's always a personal choice, because he can risk the engine and catch him quick, but of course then you're risking the engine.
All right, so we got Nilsson.
But if he feels he was the quicker car, he knows he'll get it anyway. It's just a matter of how long are you prepared to wait for it.
Yeah, because you're losing time as you stay
Theo
there.
had retired from the race.
Oh goodness.
He hit the chicane.
Oh dang, that's it. He hit the chicane. He glanced. I believe it actually started when he was entering the chicane. He clipped. He clipped the. It looks like he clipped one of the curbs, and that sent him to the outside wall. And now he's out of the race. That's unfortunate. And it looks like one of the Lotai hit the inside pit wall. Rocha hit the pit wall trying to avoid KO. So we'll have to keep an eye on him. But Mr. McKeel is unfortunately out of the race.
Yeah, Rocha, who started from the pits, he's now up to 10th.
Well. Okay, looks like Nilsson's taking a bit of a break here from pursuing Del Piccolo, and the gap is actually widened between these three cars.
Yeah, I think Del Piccolo now is really going to try to
goodness,
catch Jules or something.
Rocha off the track at Woodward Avenue. He's rejoining. Maybe he has some kind of issue with that car now that he had that wall banger. He seems okay now. Maybe that was just coincidental that he had that incident, but he's trying to lap Bruno Chacon at the moment.
Well, the lead was coming up to lap one of the the remaining Williams race.
Yes, there goes Schlapinski. Ford, Haas USA entries running 6th and 7th, respectively. And if they can keep their noses clean, they might find themselves both in the points by the time the race is over.
Alan Santo just retired.
Oh.
I don't know
Dropping
exactly
like
what's happened.
flies.
I'll try to find out.
He pulled off at the first turn. Let's see what happens here. Was it an accident or was it?
Well, the engine was still running.
Oh, he missed the turn entirely. And then I don't know. I guess he just made a choice of I don't want to race this race anymore. This is not working because he just exited
Possibly,
out.
or maybe another problem, just like the one that affected Coxon. Maybe
Possibly.
something with his setup.
Here we have Simon Watman running very slow, actually, into the first turn. Not sure what this is about. He might have some kind of a problem with his Osella. But in any case, yeah, Santo out of the race. Let's go back closer to the front here.
And more lap traffic, which might allow Gabriello to get really close to Jules.
Yep.
We have
Which he
another
is actually.
Oh, and there's a wheel that's lost back there. I
I think
believe-
Petrolavac, I think.
Hlavac.
He's
Yeah,
just retired.
and Rob de Vries at the same time, but I think Rob retired from the pit lane. Oh, actually, Petter crashed in front of Jonathan.
Oh my goodness! So this has definite implications for the front of the field.
Yeah, Jonathan had to come to a dead stop reverse.
My
Oh.
goodness, that cost Jonathan a lot of time. Here's the replay. Hlavac enters turn 3. The back end just comes around. He flat loses it, backs it into the tires. Jonathan actually didn't make contact with Petter. He was able to get out. He was able to bring the car to a stop ahead of time. So heads up driving by Jonathan. He's still in third place. So.
Yes, but I think it cost him a heap of time.
Oh, and there's no doubt it did, but he didn't damage the car. He actually got it brought to a dead stop before he even got there. So.
Well, at least one Ferrari is lucky tonight.
Yeah, the lucky one is number 28, I guess.
You'd have known that when I wanted an Italian driver.
Yeah.
Never a good omen.
So, it's still...
meanwhile, I was about to say, Gabrielle is still behind Jules.
Yeah, these three are kind of just running, kind of cooling it for the moment here. I mean, it's hard to maintain the battle when you keep coming up on lapped cars, but now it looks like Del Piccolo might be closing on Jules again. Might try to resume the battle. Yeah, he's definitely closing now. You can see the skid marks there from the accident that just happened a bit ago. Yes, he's right with him right now, but doesn't have the room to get by. He's looking for the appropriate spot, but definitely not here. Oh, Alan says that he did indeed decide to retire.
He had bad luck in the beginning of the race because Oscar Tim tried ill-advisedly to reverse his car in front of the field.
Yeah,
he was the victim of that.
Yeah, that was
So
really...
he lost his wing. He had to go for repairs.
Well, these cars are able to run free and clear of lapped cars for right now, so if Del Piccolo wants to mount another attack, he might have a good chance here. And they're starting to struggle to hang on to these two, I think.
There is another fight for 7th place because Ray Ridal is very, very close to Cesarios now.
Yep, on board with Ray now, out of the chicane and heading along the river. Cesarios in 7th place.
Kinda.
And we may indeed see Ray slowly come up the field.
Oh, Gabrielle's getting really close to Jules now. Taking a look at his gearbox internals there.
The second part of this fight is about to start.
Yep. Grab your popcorn.
I think Anders is the one ready to grab the popcorn there.
Well, yeah, Anders would be the one with the popcorn because he's just watching what's happening here. He gets to pick up the table crumbs if something goes wrong.
I can hear by Anders' engine tone that he's taking it really easy. Really just doing his own thing.
Well, he's probably doing the tactically superior thing right now. He doesn't want to mix it up with these two because if he ends up getting in between them, then that's just going to be more nerve-wracking. Might be a better thing to just wait and see what happens.
Yeah, we're still not even halfway
of the race. Oh, exactly 1/3 now.
And Grant just posted yet another fastest lap.
Alright, so he's trying to respond again. And the gap is 18 seconds. He's not putting much of an impression on him now, but look at how close Jules and Del Piccolo are now as they head into the chicane.
Yeah, this could be an opportunity. He's looking, he's looking, trying again.
Same thing on the outside. Can he get it done?
Yeah,
now now he actually clears the car, but Bouchard comes back in the outside.
Nice retaliation there.
Oh man, Bouchard.
That's a good comeback. Well done.
That was fantastic. Here it is on the replay.
Pretty cool thinking from Jules there, seeing that Del Piccolo tried again to shut the door very forcefully. He just said, okay, so I'm gonna go around the outside and brake as late as I can, and that's what he did.
Well, that was well handled by Jules. He didn't panic. He just waited for
the first opportunity he could take it back. Yeah. Now they're coming to lap and arrows. That's Bruno, I think.
Yeah, Bruno gives him plenty of room, no problem. But yeah, it seems to be a move that Del Piccolo's tried twice now. The first time it resulted in contact. The second time, it basically led to him losing the position almost immediately.
I do wonder why he keeps trying the outside every time and not the
Yeah,
inside.
it's weird. I don't know why. Maybe he's just trying to do something unexpected and catch him off guard.
No, maybe third time then.
I think because maybe he fears what just happened, which is he has to brake a bit early if he is on the inside. And Jules, because of the nature of that first corner, Jules just can hold his line around the outside and still keep the position, because the next corner obviously it's to the right.
True.
So he's trying maybe too hard to get the upper hand even before the braking zone, or at least before the turn-in point. But that didn't work. Yeah, in these 2 times he tried.
Oh, and now he runs really wide. Oh.
That looked like a mistake more than anything, because here comes Del Piccolo now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Del Piccolo clambering all over the back of him. But oh,
He
Bouchard
runs
lets
wide
him
again.
go by.
So I think he
I'm
missed
not
his
sure that was
brakes,
intentional.
No.
Yes,
Did he
I think
miss his shift?
he either missed the shift down, going down, or he braked just a bit too late for that. That
he broke
frees
too-
Del
he-
Piccolo.
He broke too late. That's what happened. I'm watching the replay, and he broke too late. So now Del Piccolo is up into 4th place, and we'll see if he can lengthen that gap. Looks like he's already starting to, but
Yeah, Jonathan is 10 seconds up the road. So he probably will try to get to Jonathan still.
yeah, definitely. Simon Watman just ahead of this group. And he is moving way wide at Cobo Hall to let Aldo go by. Very well done.
Grant just... Yeah, it was... I believe someone was in the pits. I don't know if it... I think Grant was in the pits now, yes. Grant just made his pit stop.
Yeah, well, he does tend to pit early, and I had the same plan to pit around this lap.
So
Well,
he
he
came
still
out
is-
still in 2nd place.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's amazing. He's still in 2nd place. That was how much time he had over Jonathan, as Francisco makes some room. Jonathan sees an opportunity here to catch Grant, but then again, looks like he's stuck behind. Oh, now he gets by Amaral, but one would presume that Jonathan's going to have to take a pit stop at some point. So this close proximity to Grant may not be for long. Team is in the lead. Everything stays the same. Grant is in 2nd place. Jonathan 3rd. Gabriel Del Piccolo up to 4th, ahead of Jules Bouchard, and then Anders Nilsson. That's the top 6. 7th is Slipinski. 8th, Ray Rodal. 9th, Giovanni Centorami, and 10th is Luciano Rocha. So I don't think Jules is. I'm sorry. I don't think Luciano has any damage from that wall banger he had earlier.
it seems not. He's lapping consistently now, and he dispensed with Amaral a while ago. So I think he seems to be able to carry on.
Yep.
And I think I will leave you now, gentlemen. Juha is already here to take over, I suppose. So
Yes, thanks to Ferrari, I'm able to supply commentary. I'd like to thank my team for the effort.
Appreciate you dropping by, Richard. Thanks very much.
no problem. Thank you for the broadcast.
And you have a good evening.
You too, guys. I'll catch you guys later.
Okay, take care. So the question.
So, can we expect a John Team pit stop now? He's got the time.
One would think
He's got it.
he does
Got
not
a
have
huge margin.
He doesn't have a wrench icon on right now, so he doesn't.
No, but I don't know. I think he could afford it. But surely he's been using some of his tires.
Well, it won't be this lap.
No. Jonathan is only 4 seconds behind Grant. Imagine if he hadn't had that hiccup. And then again, Jonathan still has to stop.
Yeah,
and if Jonathan stops, he'll more than likely be eaten alive by Del Piccolo and Bouchard and Nilsson freight train behind him.
Yeah, it's but again, Jonathan did an excellent job not getting collected by that. It could have been way worse.
Oh, Anders just brushed the wall with his left front wheel.
Well, I mean, this is something that everybody's trying to avoid doing. This three-car freight train is back running close again, together. And there's lockups.
Well, two cars are running close together, yeah.
Lockups from Del Piccolo. And I might have heard a missed shift there. We'll see what happens when they get to the end of this straight here. But now they're all pretty well spaced out. Yeah, pretty much. They get to a point where one of them's close, and then one of them tries to make an overtake and balks, and it.
Yeah.
So we've seen that for a while, I think, with this group.
Let's see if there's any other battles, but everybody else seems to be quite far apart.
Interesting. Well, in that case, we could do the trivia question and get it out of the way.
Go ahead, let's say.
All right. So the trivia question was... amazingly, which of the following world champions did not qualify for the first Detroit Grand Prix in 1982? Was it A, Nelson Piquet, B, Alan Jones, or C, KK Rosberg? Give everybody some time to think about this.
Oh, you're going to beat the question. Well, the answer is more likely the question.
Right. Well, what do you think?
Okay, can you repeat me the questions? The options, sorry.
Amazingly, which of the following world champions did not qualify for the first Detroit Grand Prix in 1982? Was it Piquet, Alan Jones, or KK Rosberg?
I will go with Alan Jones.
Wrong. The answer is Nelson Piquet.
Well, that's a surprise.
Yeah, well, there was rain at part of the qualifying, which kind of made them have odd laps, and they had technical issues that kept them from qualifying, which was weird. But a very unusual situation, nonetheless. Back to the race.
Yes, I would have thought an Alan Jones at the end of his career would have been the non-qualifier, but... Oh, first career, sorry. He had multiple.
Well, Alan Jones, by this time in 1986, was driving for the Haas USA team, and it actually is the car that's following these two right now. Del Piccolo and Bouchard, as they're coming up to lap Francisco Amaral. So this ought to be interesting. It might give Bouchard the opening he's looking for.
The opportunity he needs.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the hottest battle on the circuit right now, these three. Oh, look at Del Piccolo Bouchard had a little bit of a late exit on that, a little bit tardy on the throttle. They're getting out of the...
I don't think Amaral's going to pose any problem if he moves over on the front straight.
Yeah, they really got to him at an advantageous point here, assuming that he makes room.
I think he does. Yeah.
Yes, he does. He makes room for Del Piccolo, but is that going to be enough for the other two? No, it will not be. So now Del Piccolo has a bit of breathing room between himself and Bouchard.
I don't think it's going to be a problem for Bouchard either, because he moves. I think. Oh, doesn't he?
No, he does not.
No, he doesn't. Oh. Okay, but I would have expected him to yield place there.
So Bouchard is...
Go.
Bouchard's like...
Yeah, now he does.
Now he does, finally. And lets both... Well, does he let...
Yeah, no, he doesn't. No, he's got... Yeah, he's got Anders. Okay. More breathing space for Gabriele.
All right, so now now we're back to the battle as it was, and there's yet another lap car, Simon Watman, just up the road. But he's already moved way offline. His intent is clear. He wants, well, yeah, he's going to make room for everybody here as they come down to, my goodness.
That's very sporting, yeah.
It's sporting, but man, he's giving up gobs of time doing that.
Well, it's really Nozella, so I don't think the result's going to matter much. Giovanni Santorame is in the pits and the remaining Benetton.
Uh-oh. Oh, well, that might be a routine pit stop.
Although for him, it's a routine stop. I can hear throttle. He's still... Yeah, he's off.
Oh, look at this. Del Piccolo might have missed a shift because here comes... oh, my goodness. Side by side. Oh, no! Contact on the inside. That couldn't have been done without... So, look at this. Now Nilsson's all over the back.
Nilsson...
Yeah, he's like clamoring to get by now.
I've smelled blood. I want it.
It's... Oh, my goodness. So Bouchard now is really chomping at the back of Del Piccolo. But it looked like Del Piccolo might have missed a shift heading into... something went wrong as they entered the pump house turn, and suddenly Jules was all over him. But he ran out of room on the left-hander and clobbered the wall, so we're going to have to keep an eye on Jules. He might be running with some skewed parts there. Seems okay for the moment.
Well, he's definitely not letting go. Come on. I can see you. I want you. I want your place.
He's definitely looking for any piece of daylight he can find.
Gabriele is signaling pits.
All right, so
is Anders.
So this battle is very quickly going to go away here.
Well, it's going to be a battle on what do you call it? At a distance or an interval.
Yes. Aggregate.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Battle on aggregate. Thank you. Gabriele still has the sign for pits.
Well, they have no idea. Well, Jules would probably not be doing that if he knew it was coming up.
No, he definitely wouldn't. And it looks to be aiming for...
Yeah, both Del Piccolo and Nilsson, as reported, head for the pits. Nilsson at the far end of the pit lane, where the pace car is, and his car goes up in the air. So these two are going to... Now let's see, where's Ray Riddall at? Ray is actually now exiting the chicane and will pick up 2 spots here.
I'd say that's a 17-second stop for Gabriele and Anders as well. I will time it again just to be sure.
Well, they exit the pits in 6th and
yeah, my watch my watch balked when it had to. Damn it.
And team is still motoring along as if everything is hunky-dory. He is 35 seconds ahead of Jonathan. Could this be the race that the Ligier finally shows its true potential and John stands up top the podium? We'll see. Still a long way to go. We're essentially at half distance right now. Coming up to Schlapinski to put a lap on him. There's 2 cars actually ahead of him. here. Sierpinski and let's see, the other one is, can't see, it's another red car. It might be a Zach Speed.
Okay. Got their pit stop times. Gabriele was 17 and Anders 18. Hand time, so give or take. So Maciej Sibagnoni has retired from the race.
Oh shoot! It is Nilsson actually that's ahead of team, and Nilsson is running in 7th. So we have at this point 7 cars on the lead lap.
Engine failure for Matthew. It was. Riverdal going into the pits.
Okay. We have a yellow flag.
Yeah, there's an Ozella in the pits, that's why.
Oh my goodness, there might be some parts here flying. No, I don't see any. It's weird. Yeah, there are plenty of cars in the pits right now taking their scheduled stops for tires. John Team continues on, and Ridal, just to give you
very slow stop for Ray. 21 seconds. That's 4 slower than Gabriele.
So the question is Jules going to pit or is he going to stay on the tires he's on for the rest of the race? He's done that before.
Oh, Jonathan spun! Jonathan just spun!
Oh my goodness. Replay upcoming. And did he just get on the power too soon? Yeah, he did. He got by the on Bobian Street by the people mover, but he backs it into the runoff area. Is able to make that's about as clean a recovery as you can make. Yep. So he didn't lose too much time, thankfully. He is now behind Amaral, who's in 11th place. But that was a very lucky save by Jonathan. Del Piccolo in 5th again. Nilsson 6th. Slepinski 7th. And Ridal 8th after that long pit stop. Centurami 9th. And whoa! Luciano Rocha spins out in front of Chacon. But Chacon is able to get, well, he slowed down enough so that he's not going to hit him. But man, that was a monster 360. Let's take a look at that inside Luciano's car and see how it looked. He just got on the power way too aggressively, I guess. Yeah. Yep, the thing just broke loose in front of him. Didn't hit anything, miraculously. And Bruno was very good about stopping, so we've seen 2 near misses here. Rocha still in 10th place.
I think John Team is about to lap Anders Nilsson.
Yes, he is, and that will leave only 6 cars on the lead lap if he gets by Nilsson.
Until John makes a scheduled stop.
If he makes a stop. So fast, you would think that he would have. He's 32 seconds in front. This is similar to the lead that Rosberg had one year. Led the race by as much as 37 seconds at one point when he was driving for Williams. So that would have been 1987, I believe. I'm not sure. Whatever year he was, because he was with, or no, it would have been earlier. It would have been 85.
It would, yes.
Yeah,
87, he'd already retired.
Yeah, he retired by 87, so it would have been 85. Nilsson gets out of the way, doesn't want to make a big deal of this, and gets out of the way.
Yeah. They were a bit short of fights on track now. It seems to be happening at a distance. I don't see anybody signaling pits. Bouchard just drove past it again, so. Gabriele, we know he's been, Anders as well. There is something in the pits, but that's Bruno Chacon. And last place is currently held by Simon Zozella, which has already made it halfway through the race.
Well, that in itself is an accomplishment. Getting on a cello that far.
Well, I lasted my Ferrari, so.
Yeah. "31 seconds is the gap now, so it's just hovering around there."
Oh.
Yeah, pretty much everyone's spread out at this moment. As Bouchard gets by Simon Watman. Jonathan is running in 4th place, pretty much by himself. He's survived 2 very potentially fatal situations. Yeah, the front 3 are all really well spaced out. Yeah, there are 13 cars left in the race. 15, actually. Or 14, sorry. But everybody is so spaced out at this point. Nobody running with anybody else. As Asserclint comes up now to lap Simon Watman. Simon makes it very easy for him. But anyway, we were mentioning earlier what's coming up next at ISO, and one of those items next week is going to be the Pro Car race at Zandvoort, support race for the Dutch Grand Prix. I've already driven the cars. I got a new wheel, actually, so I've been getting used to the force feedback and everything, but it is a fun track to drive with these cars because you're right on a limit the entire way around. Just trying to keep the car underneath you is a handful, but should be a very interesting race. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that particular event, Juha.
Well, I mostly spent time preparing this one, so I haven't practiced Zandvoort yet. It's definitely going to be a challenge because, well, I expect lots of tire wear there again. There's not many straights to cool them down. That should be a good track to race at. I'm not sure about the overtaking opportunities because, well, basically only 1 or 2 if you really try. It's all about timing your moves right.
And really, it is a one-groove racetrack if you're trying to go as fast
it
as
is,
you
yeah,
can.
especially around the back.
Yeah. But it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top there. And then, of course, coming up not long after that, May is right around the corner. The Indianapolis 500 time trials. The server is going to go up this week, if not tonight. And then we'll have the thread go up, which will be locked. And it will give everybody an opportunity to test a variety of cars, see which ones they like. The physics are the same as the ones that we ended the 1987 kart season with last year, so no big changes to report, but it's been a while since we've driven these cars in this configuration. I think the last time was Pocono, so everybody will need some time to get used to them and see what they want, and then of course we'll have allocation the following week. But the qualifying, the time trials, the classic 4-lap averages are going to take place on Sunday, May 7th. We'll be covering those via YouTube as well, and we make a big spectacle out of it, which it should be.
It is.
Not as big of a spectacle in real life anymore, unfortunately.
Well, at least we have the means to recreate a decent one.
Yes.
We have a smaller crowd, but more excitement. Brings me to the question, which car are you fancying, Jason?
I don't know. I've been trying Lolas and just to see, because last year I ran a March, and I've been thinking about using a Lola instead of a March this time. I'm not sure. I really don't want to have a Cosworth engine because I can't stand the sound of it, personally.
Well, there's not much choice left then. You're either stuck with the Brabham, Honda, whatever the engine was called back then.
Yeah.
Or a Buick.
Or
I
a
seem to
or
remember
a
you.
Chevy. Or a Chevy.
Yeah,
Which
well,
sounds tons better.
Well, depends which kind of variety.
Yeah, it's true. So
The reliable, well-prepared variety, or the self-detonating unit.
oh man, you mean the blowtorch?
Well, I've actually been testing that one.
Wow.
I figured it would be a challenge.
It'll be a challenge to get beyond 10 miles in that car in the race because it hand grenaded, I think, every time it ran.
Well, I can assure you, its handling is already challenging enough to make it the end of the qualifying run.
Yeah, that's the thing that most people don't realize about Indianapolis. It's the people at the back of the field that have the hardest time with their cars. The people at the front, they have cars that are practically running on rails. It's the latest technology, and they've worked all month. And
yes.
The cars are smooth, and that qualifying is easy peasy compared to what's going on back in the 30s or the high 20s for those cars. They're like pushing it for all they can, and that's where all the action usually happens.
It is, because how high do you value your life? How far do you want to go?
Yeah.
Do I want to take turn 4 flat out, or well, maybe not?
I remember one year in particular on bump day, Johnny Parsons Jr. was offered a car that AJ had, a backup car that he had not used, or he'd used but he hadn't qualified in it, and he offered this car, it was a 14T car, to Johnny Parsons, and Johnny Parsons hardly ever was able to qualify for the race, but he was a talented guy, and here was a genuine opportunity for him to get into the race. And he crashed.
Something just happened to Grant.
Oh no!
Wheel disconnect. No, he's still going, but it looks like a wheel or a pedal disconnect. It's momentarily stalled on his
Oh
thing.
my goodness! Yeah, he's suddenly really slow here. I don't know what happened here, but maybe it's a hardware issue.
Smoke from Grant.
Oh no!
No Pope. Yeah, I think we can write him off within seconds.
Again with the barbecues. Grant is not going to finish. Not going to win, definitely, the Detroit Grand Prix.
No, he's already pulling off. Yeah,
he's going
on the
straight for the pit lane. My goodness. So
what a shame. That's... Well, even bigger leads for John Team then. I'd say he can turn the boost down, but I suppose he hasn't been turning it up first.
Pulls right into his garage. So now John Team is leading, oh my goodness, by almost a minute over Jules Bouchard. So in the end, Jules is going to find himself in second place here, which I don't think he was expecting, but
no.
Asserclint gets back into a podium finishing position.
Yes, but you have to remember that Jonathan's on fresher tyres, and Jules isn't. And we know how Jonathan can stage late race comebacks.
True.
So the question is, how much has Jules taken off his tyres, and can Jonathan make an impression on him? He's now 9.8 seconds behind them.
Yeah, so we could be looking at a battle for second there. But just to finish
Well, you'd probably be in front if you didn't have all his traffic jams and all these other accidents on the way. But, well, ifs and buts. He's taken half a second off him in the first sector, so this could be an interesting battle. Could even be the battle for the lead if the Renault in front detonates.
Well, anyway, just to finish that Johnny Parsons story. So he gave him the car to try to bump someone out of the field and get into the field. And he goes out for practice. They allowed him to practice the car before he made his actual attempt because he hadn't driven it before. He drives a few laps, and then after, like on the third lap around, he just pancakes it against the wall. And that's it. And you just think to yourself, oh, man, he didn't even have a chance to try to qualify. But that's the danger that was always existing back then, hopping in and out of cars. You didn't know what the car's character was. You hadn't had time to practice in it, so... But sportingly, AJ did not go ballistic. He's been there long enough. He probably realized that was a potential thing to happen. So, in any case, I don't know if he pancaked it against the wall. That's what I remember, but it was a definite accident. That was the end of that for that car. But in any case, we'll have our own indie drama to talk about later on next month. Jules continuing here. What are you thinking about in terms of cars for the 500?
Well, last year I had Slapinski just retired, by the way. I've just seen it.
Oh no, there goes the
And Gabriele, I've had a spin. Oh yeah, Gabriele spun and took off the front wing. Gabriele's circulating without front wing.
Let's look at a replay here. Yeah, he lost the wing. Spinning, and it looks like he spun in a similar fashion to Rocha.
Slapinski just went head on into a tire wall. So
oh my
that's
goodness.
end of his race.
Yeah, here comes Gabriel around the corner. This is a replay, and he gets on the power and just loses the back end. He almost had it. He almost had the spin stop, but by the time he get the front tires grabbed, he was heading for the wall. So he is due in the pits for a wing replacement. And meanwhile, he is being overhauled even by lapped cars, but goodness.
Well, that's Anders lapping, overtaking Gabriele.
Oh no, that's Anders getting ahead of him. Anders is now in 4th place.
Yeah, because the other Lola just butted into the wall where we just passed. So.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So Anders up to 4th, Jonathan 3rd. Jules the only non-Swedish interloper in 2nd, and John Team leads the race.
My goodness. So, this being the home race for the Ford crew, that USA Lola. Yeah, Gabriel's just trying to get it to the pits in one piece now.
Yeah, well, he can still score points. If his stop is quick enough, he can get out ahead of Ray Riddle.
Yeah, Ray is down at Cobo Hall right now, so he... assuming he can get out of the pits quick enough, he should be able to maintain that top 5 place. But we'll see how long this takes. Sometimes these wing replacements take so long you have to shut the engine off.
Yeah, well, I'm timing it, so I'll tell you soon enough. The car's already on its wheels. I wonder if it's taken new tires. Interesting.
May as well have if the wing replacement takes as long and all this stuff happens concurrently. So. It doesn't just add on top of each other. It's happening at the same time.
Yeah, Raid already taken 6 seconds back. Oh, 25 seconds only. That's a quick one.
That's incredibly quick. And there Ray goes by into 5th place. So it just...
Yeah, but I think Gabriela's got the legs to take him back if his car's not too damaged.
And if he's got new tires.
No, it definitely does then. Okay, so that does give us a battle to look forward to. Meanwhile, Jonathan has closed into 6.3 seconds of Jules, and it was 9.8 before. So we could be onto a battle for 2nd, and Jules is probably regretting at this point not stopping for tires.
Yeah, he's tried that before, and it didn't work in another race.
Yeah, well, he repeats a mistake.
I can't remember which one it was, but in any case...
I was going to say Imola. Spa, but then he won at Spa, but I got close enough.
Alright, well now Jonathan dispenses...
Jonathan now down to 5.7 seconds.
Ooh, man.
He's
got by Centorami, so now he's going to try to close in.
Gabriel is already on Ray's rear wing.
What are you thinking about for the 500? Are you thinking of renewing your relationship with the garage door people?
Well, I still love last year's setup. So, apologies. The easy thing would indeed be to take... Gabriele moves into 5th, by the way. To recycle the setup and go for the same car. Sorry again. That would be the easiest one.
True.
Or do I go for something different? Do I say I don't fancy listening to a Kosovo for 500 miles? Do I fancy, I don't know more if I can get hold of one, a Buick, or I don't know yet. Or do I fancy a March for once? But
well, the Buick.
Considering I have a Lola set. Oh, Gabriele's out.
Gabriele's out of the race. Fire.
Yeah.
Fire at the back of it. So that's two barbecues for the 2 Brabham BMWs out of the race. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
well,
and
actually
this
not
moves Centorami in his one-off drive for Brabham. Benetton. Wrong
he might
BMW
get 6th
team.
place. Yeah,
Yeah, I will get sixth if he
Yeah.
makes it around the next 2 corners. He'll have sixth. Okay.
And
Well,
you
that's
hear
a nice surprise for a one-off.
Flames licking white as Gabrielle pulling into the middle of the circuit.
Yeah.
That's not a smart thing. Well, he hit escape, thankfully. But in any case, Gabrielle out of the race. Giovanni goes up 6th place just now in his one-off drive for Benetton. Very good performance from him so far.
Jonathan now 3.7 seconds behind Jules. I should be rooting for my teammate now, obviously.
Yeah. Don't forget, though, regarding the 500, the Buick is not going to be the same rocket ship that it was in '88.
Well, I understood after last year we had a few problems in the launch department, but no, who knows if you found something different. And
Yeah.
I'll test it. Maybe I'll fancy going for it. I mean, somebody's got to represent them.
Someone's got to represent the Buick contingent.
Although obviously the thing is, I go for a nice livery, so they better look nice.
Yeah.
2.4 seconds difference now. The question is not when Jonathan's going to catch him, but how he's going to try to pass him.
Yeah, he's definitely faster. So it's fresh tires. Definitely paying dividends here. Yeah, he's catching him hand over fist. It's just a matter of when. And team, to my knowledge, is still not stopped. He's going the whole way. On one
Well,
set
he's got a 1 minute lead, so why would he bother?
At this point, there's no real. It's incredible that he's able to do that. He led from the start, and got off the line ahead of Jules, and never looked back. So we'll see what happens here. But he's got so much in hand, he can take all the time.
Luciano Rocha has retired.
Oh no! What happened
That
there?
looks like an engine failure. Yeah, engine failure. So Renault is not immune from failure.
No, they're not.
As we were. It could happen, and there's 2 Renaults in front. And then again, there's a Ferrari third, and that the other one didn't last beyond that 5. Yeah.
All right, he's right with Jules now. Heading down the straightaway, leading to the Coleman A. Young Municipal Center and the Spirit of Detroit. They love to take photos of the cars as the Spirit of Detroit's in the background. Heading down to Kobo. Simon ahead of them, shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, you're right. It's not a question of if he will. Oh my goodness!
Jonathan.
Dang, he was very lucky to get away with that. He did. I don't think he.
That's
contacted
unusual.
Slight error there from Jonathan, but
maybe he got a bit too overexcited.
Yep. All right, back we come onto the
2 lap cars ahead, by the way.
yeah.
I'll check who they are. They appear to be Amaral in 7th and Bruno Chacon. Chacon is letting Amaral through, and then it is a few seconds waiting until the leaders of lapping cars and getting by him. Jules getting really
Yellow
close to the
flag.
wall. Jonathan
Chacon
looking on the inside.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Jonathan Grease! Oh, he does it.
Chacon had hit the
Oh,
wall.
oh.
Let's take a replay. Look at a replay of this. It was almost a replay of the 1991 Andretti family pile up at this turn with a safety car.
Jonathan.
Yeah, see what happens here. Chacon's is slowed up. Actually, you know what? I take it back. He was actually slowing up for these 2. I don't think Bouchard was expecting him to do that there. And
Jonathan was a very opportunistic mover there.
Great move.
But here we go, Ferrari in 2nd.
There you go. I think Bouchard was just caught off guard by that.
Yeah.
All right, well, no contact, it appeared, and yeah, Jonathan's in 2nd now. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So we're coming up on, well, we've got 20 laps to go now in the race. So we'll see if...
And John team cruising towards victory, basically, unless his engine expires.
Well, it could happen. I mean, we've seen that happen before with when it appeared that somebody was in the lead and set there, like Grant. So who knows? And we know that the Renaults are prone to blowing up just like other engines. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, Jules appears to be taking it easy because he's letting Jonathan away. He's probably thinking, I can still build up my championship lead. Go on, be my guest.
Anders in 4th place. That's a fantastic drive from him in the Team Haas USA entry. There's going to be
really short drifting.
Yeah, I'm sure he's taking it easy.
Oh, well, wouldn't.
And
you know, it's all it takes is one retirement, and he's got a podium.
And Ray Rodolphe very quietly has found his way into the top 5, driving for McLaren.
Albeit a sizable distance from Nilsson, and Nelson Thuram is half a minute behind him. So for them, it's just a matter of surviving and pick up anything which is left on the table by the cars in front.
Well, that's the strategy that we figured some people would take in this race. They would just wait for others to drop out and just try to take care of the car.
That was mine, but unfortunately that was the first drop I had. And Simon Watman, 14th and last runner in the Ozella.
Yeah, but he's going to move up 4 places, assuming that he can keep running.
He does. Yeah, he's going to bring that car in the top 10 if he completes another 4 or 5 laps. Check, what's it?
Here's Amaral running in 7th. He's probably wondering, have we seen all of the retirements yet?
Waltman has to do about 5 laps before he overtakes Rocha. And works himself into top 10. There's about 10 cars running then.
Yep.
5, 6, 7, 8, 10 cars left.
And Saber's running in 8th in this race, so not the best of days for McLaren, but still, 2 cars in the top 10 is not bad.
No, the race isn't over yet.
And Chacon's soldiering on. He's going to pick up some spots too once he cycles through this group that's just retired recently. Nilsson
Anders is about to lap him.
Yeah, Anders is about to get by.
Yeah, Chacon has to do about 2 laps, I think. And Chacon's done. Well, he's just overtaken Dan Piccolo. Chacon is on his 41st lap, and Roach, retired after lap 40, so he'll be in 9th very soon. And then it's just a case of Watman completing a few laps in the Ozella, and he'll be in the top 10, and hopefully for him to make it to the end.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, Jonathan's just left Bouchard in the dust now. So whatever choice he made for tires was the right one. Although he's got to watch it, though. He's pretty squirrely on the exit of turn 2 there. And the gap is 58 seconds between Jonathan and John Team. So we may see. Well, then no, it's probably not going to happen. 1 car in the lead lap. No. As dominant as John's drive is, I doubt that's going to happen. But at this point, I think all these guys are turning their boosts down as low as they can and just trying to cruise home at this point. If they're smart, that's what they're doing, because there's not in contest with each other. There's miles of room in between them, and they're making the technically superior move right now, I think. And Shotgun is up to 9th now. See, these guys are coming up through the field thanks to the retirements ahead of them. So, nice drive by Shotgun. He stayed out of the way of the people who are lapping him, and he's being rewarded with a top 10 position here. He hasn't had many good finishes in this car so far in the season, but showing well here, taking advantage of the attrition. And here finally is Simon, who's 13th in the Acela. You're right. He's
Oh, Giovanni is making a 360.
Oh goodness, Giovanni off the circuit. We get a good look at the paint scheme on the Benetton, but he gets going again.
I think he's played every color Benetton has so far.
Yeah, the United
He's still
colors.
going. Yeah, well, he's got a 2-minute lead over Morales. No point in wasting it.
No, but I think what happened was he broke too late for this corner, and he's lucky to. Yeah, no, he didn't. He didn't break too late.
I think it's on.
He got on the power too soon. This is where a lot of the spins are occurring, where people are getting on the power too soon or too aggressively, and then the back end tires. Now he's trying to find a way out of here. He's by Cobo Hall. Oh, he actually made contact there with the tires, but not too serious. So Nilsson got by, but that was a lap ahead of Centorami, so there was no harm done there. He backs up, gives us a good look at the unusual paint scheme in this car. And then finally, he's waiting for cars to go by. Yeah, he's waiting for the yeah, good job. John Teen was coming through there, and he definitely didn't want to get into a problem with the leader. And he waited until he was by and then rejoined. That's how you do it, right there. When you spin out, you have to turn off the part of your brain that says, what position am I in? How much time do I have? And just try to get back on safely without ruining anybody else's race. That is what you do, and that was just expertly shown to us by Giovanni, who continues in 6th place.
Waltman now up to, 12th, after overtaking a few retired cars. Being lapped by Jules Bouchard. I think he's taking it very gently in that Otella. Already 10 laps behind the leader. I wonder if that actually means he'll get classified at the end.
Well, it depends upon 38 laps completed he's on his 39th lap now.
Yeah.
You have to do the calculation. Is it 80? Is it 90? Is it 85%?
85%.
Okay. So it's 85% of 63.
Yeah, I'm about to tell you. 53 laps. So if he gets lapped once more, I'm afraid even if he does make it in the points, he won't get any.
No, that's too bad.
Well, that's a lot of ifs and buts, and then. Oh.
If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, I forget what the rest of it.
I'd rather use Clive James's quote, if is F1 spelled backwards.
I never heard that one before. It's funny. Yeah, he's taking it really easy, maybe too easy through here. I mean, I know the Acela is a slow car,
but it's a triumph in itself to bring the Acela to the finish.
Yeah, but if he's not classified, what's the point?
Well, it's an achievement to be proud of, Jason.
I know, but goodness, I don't know. He just seems to be driving a bit leisurely.
It's like bringing the blowtorch to the finish in Indy 500. I mean, you're not going to win anything, but
you drive. If you're going to choose the blowtorch for the 500, you're choosing it to make a spectacle and get it in the field. And then after that, it's like,
damn it.
Although we have had pretty high attrition rates with 500-mile races recently.
Yeah, the problem is that car is usually part of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't help. Well, you're picking the car, they're saying, well, I actually have to run off early that night, so I'll do 10 laps, wait for it to blow up, and goodbye.
And then goodbye. Well, that's one way to approach the race. As Nilsson sails by on the inside.
Yes, I know. nothing to report about our leaders. I mean, Johnson's 55 seconds behind John. There's nothing spectacular gonna happen there. I don't see any smoke coming.
No, everybody looks like they're running okay here. Here's David Saber, who's in 8th, and he's about to put a lap on 9th place. Track on. So, gives you an idea of the gap there.
And Morale's about to lap the Ozella.
Yep, there he goes.
Saber completes another lap. Chacon and Wattman has to do only one more lap before he takes Rocha and Del Piccolo and moves into the top 10.
And meanwhile, we're talking about ice cream in the chat.
Oh well, I'm off to the chat then. Hang on. Ice cream. I could do with one. Please deliver.
Yeah. They're talking about how some people call ice cream yogurt.
Oh no, please don't.
Well, if it's frozen yogurt, then there is a difference.
Oh no. That's ice cream. No, ice cream is ice cream. That's not frozen yogurt.
Well, that's my point exactly. They're two different things. You take the frozen yogurt option if you're watching your weight.
Well, I'd say if you're watching your weight, you're eating neither of them. There we go.
Cisco continuing on here.
I want an ice cream now.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, well, don't blame the chat.
Well, the gap is coming down, believe it or not. It's 54 seconds now between.
Well, how do you call that? Too little, too late.
Yeah, I guess so, but or maybe just John trying to pace himself to the end here. I wonder if fuel is really much of a concern here. My guess
No,
is
it's not. It's not, because you have to run low boost because you overheat the engine. So you don't have a choice. And even on full boost, I think you can still make it. So no, I wouldn't worry about that. I'll start with a full tank, but I knew I overfueled. But
yeah, Simon's 11 laps down. So there you go.
yeah, I think he's saying it really gently, but well, I mean, there's only 10 laps left in the race, or 12. So I mean, he's never, unless there's a lot of retirements, I doubt they have to happen within the next 3 or 4 laps, or he would never take them anyway. Oh, what's that? That's a very slow Ozella now.
Uh-oh.
No, it's still running. It's just taking it. Don't see any smoke. It just sounds, the car just sounds like it's crippled, even if it's running properly.
Well,
Sorry, Alfa Romeo.
11 laps to go this time for John Team.
Simon is now officially in 10th in the Ozella.
11 laps adrift. So.
Well, they all count.
And the chat.
Substitute driver and the Benetton is now 6th. Yes, go on, Jason.
The chat desperately trying to entertain themselves by talking about ice cream.
The chat's making me hungry. I had an ice cream yesterday, but that was yesterday.
So let's think for a minute about what this is going to do to the points on the driver's end of it. If Jules finishes second, that's going to give him, give him 6
fairly
more.
big. 6 more, yes.
That
I mean, I had quite a big lead.
He'd have 42 points, and that would be. Let's see. Ray Radal is in 5th. He would get 2 more points there in 18. You would still be in 2nd place with 25
Yes,
points.
because Saber isn't picking up any points currently, neither will Gabriele. Jonathan will, but at 6 points, so he'll only get to 18. He'll be in 3rd in the championship then.
Yeah.
But John Team's going to move up to 14 points. So yeah, it's going to be Ferrari 2 and 3. The problem is that the guy in front, he's opening a bit of a gap.
Yeah. But I don't think John has had many point-scoring finishes so far, so it's not going to bring him into.
No, he's only had 1 point score so far.
So he's not even going to get into the top 5 after this win. But
oh, two scores. Sorry.
all right.
The first race and the last one.
When you look at the car points, as of now, that's definitely going to.
Oh yes, this is. I was going to say it's benefit Ferrari, but yeah, it should be because we're closing in 2 points on Lotus, so we'll be. We're now 6 behind. We'll only be 4 behind.
The real loser will be Motor Racing Developments. They'll get no points, and probably they might even drop out of the top 5 here.
Sure, because Benetton's well.
Benetton's getting possibly 1.
Nah. Yeah, well, it's not gonna. No. Oh no. The Motor Racing Development's not gonna be overtaken by Ligier because they'll still be a point short.
Okay.
And even Benetton's not gonna pass them, so they'll still be in 4th by the end of this one.
Interesting. I'm actually really relieved everything's working well in this broadcast because I just had my operating system on my computer upgraded this past week, and so I had to basically reload everything back on again.
Jules Bouchard retired. Jules Bouchard is out of the race.
Oh, shoot!
That looks like an engine failure. Yeah.
He pulled off right where the Veterans Memorial building is. Let's see.
Well, this changes all our chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Ferrari now in a very good position. Sorry. And Morales also retired.
Well, he was out of the points.
Yeah, I'll check what that was. But so yeah, this would have actually been a golden opportunity for myself. But then again,
you can hear the flames. Bouchard out of the race with an engine failure. My goodness.
Yes, and this this changes everything. Nilsson gonna take 4 points in his hometown car.
That's true. Now the he's in 3rd place in the
and this means that in the constructors, the 6-point gap between Lotus and Ferrari, if Jonathan makes to the end, will be 0. It'll be closed.
It's really unfortunate that I think about it for Amaral because he was in a position to pick up points with that retirement. Then he retires himself. Yeah. So both Williams out of the race. Saber is going to be moving up to
sixth
and
taking a point from McLaren.
Here. Yeah, and get 1 point from McLaren. Which,
no, he's got a few more laps to go before he gets there.
Yeah.
Oh, so McLaren could be onto something here. Well, and that means Simon Watman is actually going to run out of laps to catch you. Well, Simon Watman's going to get agonizingly close to a point for Azella, but because 2 retirements, that means he's 8.
That still, I think, would be the highest finish for an Azella this year.
Well, that's actually a good question. What's the highest finishing position for Nozella? Let me check that, although it might take a few minutes before I can come up with a decent answer for that one. But I will tell you soon enough, Jason.
Alright, gotcha.
Meanwhile, you can entertain us with other interesting bits. Nozella. Well, both Rosellas DNF'd in Brazil, so that's hardly it might take a while, so I suggest you find another subject before we get back to this one.
Well, Ray is going, David Saber is going pretty slow coming out of corners here. It's almost as if he's stuck in a gear. I don't know, he might have been distracted by something for a minute, but he is going to eventually elevate to 6th place.
No, there's Nozella which finished 10th in Imola.
one also finished 10th at Monaco, I believe.
No, that should be classified 10th because finishing is a different matter in that car. But actually finished 10th in Monaco, Imola, sorry, Jill tow driving it.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I was thinking of. But I don't think they finished any higher than that.
Well, let's see where they were listed in Monaco. 7 and 8 actually.
Oh, well, look at
Monaco.
it. There's the highest placing then for one, so there you go.
I don't need to look any further because I'm pretty sure they didn't get any points. So. Anyway, John Team still leading with 7 laps to go, that is.
I think so, yes.
Jonathan second with a big lead over, and we've got an entirely Swedish top 3.
Well, there you go.
That's what I've done wrong. Ricky in 4th. Giovanni 5th. Are going to pick up, if he keeps going, 2 points for his one-off with Benetton.
Yeah.
And Saber just moved into 6th by passing Jules' retirement point.
Nilsson is now about to go a lap down to the leader, so we'll have 2 cars on the lead lap. There it is.
Yeah.
Yep, we're on lap 50. Well, Nilsson is on lap 56. We're on lap 57 for the leaders.
I think Andy is thinking, okay, this passed me, that's 1 less lap I have to do. You go ahead. After you.
Well, this is a rarity, actually. We haven't seen this in a while, where a driver takes the lead at the start and never looks back. And those of you who might think that a Ligier being where it is in this race is weird, would forget that in 1986, the Ligiers did actually lead both of them at one point, swap the lead on pit stop. But, so, the car wasn't that bad of a car. At what point did Alio jump into this?
After Lafitte broke both his legs in the start pile of Pepperland's hatch.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, which hasn't happened yet.
No, it hasn't happened yet, and it ended Lafitte's Grand Prix career when he was already age 42 by then. And next race we'll have is France, and then we will get to that round at Brands Hatch.
Oh, that's right, it was at Brands Hatch.
Yes.
Alright, well, John just soldiering on at this point. Impervious to anything, it appears. That actually, he's let the gap come down considerably. He is driving within himself, trying to stay.
Oh, yes, that's the only right thing to do. I mean, you went at the slowest speed possible.
Yeah, the gap is, Nicky Lauda said that, didn't he?
I think it was 30 mods, so just went at the slowest speed possible. It could be allowed on a Frost thing. Winning by 1 second is the same as winning by 50, is it?
It is. The points pay the same, too. 46 seconds now between Asserglint and team.
1 minute. Over 1 minute down to Anders Nilsson. Doing himself has 1 minute 22 over Rabadol. And then 1 minute further back there is Giovanni. Who's a lap ahead of David Saber. So it's all huge gaps. Bruno Chacon is 3 laps behind Saber. And Waltman is 6 laps behind him. So yeah, we're basically looking at a
Chacon up to 8th
huge
now.
gap.
He's going to be 7th in a minute.
Well, no. Well, if he finishes the race, yes, because it's gap between him and Bouchard is... Oh, hang on. Oh, 1 lap. all lap, so you'll get there.
Just one place out of the points must be frustrating, but still, in this car,
Yeah,
I
well,
think
thinking the same. Yeah, it's got that performance.
this car.
But then again, he does have a hand in the finishing races.
I don't think we've had a. I think this is the highest we've had a arrows, I believe.
Yeah, because they haven't scored any points. No, and they didn't do much better in real life. Yeah, there's no points for arrows so far. Haas is going to get its season best. Best in Atlanta so far, it's 5th. But it's a best for Ligier as well. It's not for Benetton. I think everybody's just praying for this race to be over.
Yeah, they're just.
Come on, we got nothing left to win.
Here.
Come on.
So, where do we go after this race for the series?
Paul Ricard.
Paul Ricard, which is a very different challenge.
Yeah, the circuit actually sponsoring the Ligier. Sort of. Same owner. So it's a very different kettle of fish. We've actually got straights there to cool an engine down. My Ferrari liked that straight bit. It doesn't really like the twisty bit after it.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Well, I do have a win to defend there, but I had a slightly better car last time out. Let's see when that race is. That race is on May 28th, so we got more than a month. We've got Indy to get out of the way first.
Yeah, that's going to be a 2-week event, basically.
No, it is.
Last year when we ran the 500, Coxon came out victorious in Bobby Rahall's car. He was actually a year late on that one. Rahal won in 1986. Yep.
I think I retired as usual.
Yellow flag here at this section.
Yellow.
What is
The Ozella has. Oh no, the Ozella has lost.
Oh no! Accident at the chicane. The Ocella's out of the race. Simon's out of the race. Oh, that's too bad.
Oh gee. Oh, that's.
Oh my goodness! It was.
Yeah, I think it's about to blow an engine. So.
It wasn't an engine that blew. He.
No, he clobbered the chicane.
Oh, he hit the. He hit the side of the tire wall on the right-hand side. Just clipped it slightly, and that just sent him into the barrier. That's too bad.
Yeah, I was all in the top 10, but that ends the. Oh, you've got a stop and go penalty for it. I don't know, he managed that one, but that's really unfortunate. So 7 cars running.
And then there were 7.
Bruno Chacon being the only one not to score points, currently.
Well, that simplifies the point scoring, but
it does. It's a game of musical chairs now. Is one of you going to give up his chair to Bruno?
Bruno's wondering if that's going to happen, but
although, well, John Team only has 2 laps to go, and Bruno is so far back. Even if there is a retirement, the points are settled.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's not going to get any.
If anybody did retire, Shotgun would not catch them in time at this point. So
it wouldn't be the benefactor.
So, I mean, I would think that the next race at Paul Ricard, the Brabhams would probably be able to stretch their legs and do well, even though there are twisty bits to Paul Ricard.
Yeah, but
there are fewer
there's 2 very long straights for them. So yes, I think that's going to be a place for them. Yeah.
We have some pointed opinions of Paul Ricard actually in the chat, actually, from KO and. Good grief, some people don't like this circuit. I actually like Paul Ricard. I think it's cool. Even with its rather garish strips of sandpaper they got down now.
I don't like the modern version of it, I'll admit you that. That looks horrible.
But you gotta admit, it's an inventive way of slowing a car down.
You could have just painted the entire things here blue, not like stripes.
I know.
Should have just painted the entire thing and used a different color. I mean, surely it would have been available in green, in yellow, in sand, but not blue like that or red. It just.
I know.
It looks like the BASF livery M1, but worse.
All right, well, we're almost at the point here where we don't use
1.5 lap to go for John Team.
1.5 laps to go. Yeah, he's driven a masterful race.
He has
paced it perfectly from the get-go, and it looks like he's taken very good care of his motor. The gap continues to shrink now, 43 seconds, but clearly he's been taking care of the car since he realized the position he was in. It's too bad because Oscar is the first retirement, and then John is on top. So they're bookending the field here. Not in a way that they want to, but in any case, here comes.
Well, it works both ways because I'm the second retirement. Jonathan's in second. It's quite an odd way. We're both bookending there.
Yeah.
Everybody else seems to be fine. John on his last lap. I don't see smoke.
Nilsson.
I don't see any other cars on their way out.
Yep, everybody seems to be okay. This will be the first win of the year for Team and for Ligier both. And we'll... this was a race that Bouchard really would have wanted to continue his march toward a potential title, but it was not to be.
No, as a championship is basically a non-race.
Mm-hmm.
I think how's this? Let's see. All the three main contend. Oh no, Ray Riddall is scoring under the top three. He's scoring 3 points. So, and Saber, fourth. But yeah, nothing changed at the top. I mean, Jonathan's gonna take over. Third, maybe? Oh. Anyway, we'll see that in a few minutes.
Yep.
So we've got John Team getting ready to take first victory for Ligier.
Yep. Comes off the final turn. And there it is. He spins out as he crosses. Well, no, that's before the line, John. You got it.
That's
there
before
you go.
the line, John. Imagine if we cocked that one up.
Oh man, it's like in America where we have football players who have a sure touchdown and they drop the ball out of their hands before they cross the goal line. But John is now trying to get his car back around so he can be on the rostrum. But John Team has won the Detroit Grand Prix. An excellent drive from him, flawless from start to finish.
Anders crosses the line in third.
Well, here comes first. Anders was a full lap
Anders
down.
already finished.
Here comes Jonathan to finish in second place. Fantastic
Bruno
run for
Chacon
Johnny
retired.
Aces.
Bruno Chacon has actually retired on the last lap. No.
Well, here's Nilsson.
Nilsson finished.
Team is doing donuts while Nilsson's cruising around. He's in third. He pulls off.
I completely missed Bruno Chacon retiring. I don't know what happened.
Well, here's Ray continuing with his lap. He's I don't think he's crossed the line yet, but he's in fourth place.
No, he hasn't crossed the line yet.
But it's a great result. Oh, he's actually lost his front wing. That's what's going on. That's why he's going so slow. So he's just trying to cruise home. Oh my goodness.
Bruno actually had an engine expire on the final lap.
Oh, for goodness sakes. That BMW is just too delicate. Okay, Ray is now coming around.
Like one finished fifth, so it's...
Well, Ray is trying to make it down to the end here because he's fourth and wants to take that flag. but he's locking up like crazy. I think he might have suspension issues on the right front as well, because I can see it locking up there, having issues. But here he comes off the corner. He should be able to pedal home now. Just get it through this chicane. Don't hit it. Don't hit the barriers. And he's there.
Well, it's safe anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So Ray takes 4th place. There he goes across the line. Looking more like a 1982 racer. Centorami in 5th. David Saber, still running, is going to pick up 6th. So in the end, it's a good day for McLaren. They pick up points that they need because they're not doing that point. Oh, go! Oh, Saber.
Well, I think Saber's already finished, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he has. Yeah,
So
finished 3 laps down.
So in the end, only 6 cars finished in the race. But
well, that makes my my bookkeeping easy.
Yeah, it does actually. Very easy. I don't know. I mean, for a guy who's already crossed the line, David still seems to be going for it. So maybe he just likes the circuit that much.
Well, the points will be up in a few minutes, so...
Yeah. Oh, he's heading straight for the pits, so you were right. He had already crossed the line. All right. All right, so that was the Detroit Grand Prix, the 5th Detroit Grand Prix, and we've got people in the green room, starting with Anders Nilsson. Anders, congratulations on your podium finish, 3rd place. You do realize this is the home race for the Team Haas USA entry, so they're very happy, and Ford Motor Company is probably very happy because they got Ford banners all over the place here.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it was a hard one. Yeah, you had to drive with your inside of your head. I tried to stick with Gabrielle and Bouchard there, but my engine was running a little bit too hot, so I had to back off.
Well, still excellent result in a car that, you know, ultimately didn't amount to very much in its Grand Prix year, but excellent result. Stayed out of a lot of trouble, and you're rewarded with 3rd place. And then we've got Jonathan here. Jonathan, 2nd place for Ferrari, so it didn't look like anybody could touch John Team today, but you did an excellent job avoiding 2 potentially race-ending incidents. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that was a couple of brown moments for sure, to say the least. The one with Grant, that was more of a. I saw him brake late, so I broke late as well, and then I immediately realized, oh shit, he's missed the braking zone. And unfortunately, I couldn't quite avoid his car, and then span as we made contact, getting away. So. Bit of time lost, and then the one with Peter was more of a. I saw him lose it, and it was like, oh please, can I get more tight? Couldn't do it, and unfortunately lost a lot of time. But overall, quite happy with that race. It was a lot of fun with the Ferrari around here. As you say, Jon was out of touch. He was absolutely amazing around here. There was nothing to be done about that. Just happy to be able to put on a race where I made one tiny mistake, but other than that, nothing major, and that's the first in this series.
Well, you have some time between now and when you go racing again in Formula One. It's actually going to be after Indianapolis. It's Paul Ricard. Any thoughts about that?
Seeing how much of a fuel track this was, well, not fuel, but engine track this was, I'd assume that engine and possibly fuel will be a thing at Paul Ricard as well, due to the long straights. For the Ferrari itself, that long straight will be quite nice, but a couple of those hairpins will be quite a pain, I reckon.
What about you, Anders? Any thoughts?
I think it's my engine probably will not be enough, but the chassis is good. So yeah, same attrition like now. Maybe I can score another point. Would be nice, but on sheer power, I can't keep up. But I will do my best.
All right. Well, reminding everybody what's coming up at ISO just before we leave the air here. The next round of the Pro Car Series, 7th round out of the 9. The support race for the Dutch Grand Prix, which is next Sunday, April 23rd. Race starts at 2000 CEST. I would forecast dune rides for some cars, but we will see how that goes. It should be an interesting race. And also keep an eye on the forum because our annual Indianapolis 500 time trials are not that far away, May 7th. But before then, there's going to be time for everybody to test cars on the server and make their selections for the greatest spectacle in racing. So, Jonathan, are you going to qualify a car for somebody?
If anyone needs it, then
qualify the blowtorch.
I'm willing to attempt to qualify a car for anyone, blowtorch included. So
or a Buick, as you guys like to say.
Rather not. That's not quite my kind of engine, I don't think.
We have Tim in the green room.
Oh, we also have John in the green room. Well, we got to talk to John.
Yes.
John, congratulations on a flag to flag, well, not flag to flag, but wire to wire victory, let's call it. You got an excellent start, bested Jules into the first turn, and from that point on, it seems like you just didn't look back. Was the car really that great today? I don't think John's audio is connected is the problem.
Oh.
Oh, there he is.
Ah, here he is.
Well, we're getting little flashes of John, but we can't hear him, unfortunately.
Thank you, Jason.
Oh, there he is.
The car was amazing, just like in Monaco.
Yeah. Well, it must be great to finally show everybody what this car is capable of.
Okay, maybe now. Maybe now.
Yeah, there you go. It must be really great to finally.
Now.
Yeah, you can hear you now. It must be great to finally show everybody what the car can do, because the Ligier team has had its share of bad luck already this season. Well, I think we can say with certainty that the Ligier team didn't work on John's,
do you hear me now?
Discord.
No.
Something strange with the sound here.
Well, there you are. Anyway.
Okay, the car was great. Yeah, so I just want to say thank to everybody for putting on this show. So it's just amazing, and I don't know, I can't really hear you, so I'm just gonna babble around. But nice to see Swedish drivers on the podium, and the car was amazing. So thank you for a great evening.
Yeah, thank you, John, for a great performance. Yeah, we've already had that comment about Swedish drivers being 1, 2, 3. So yeah, so we'll see what happens when we get to the next race in the calendar, which is not going to be for a while, so it'll give a lot of people time to prepare. But next time out is for us broadcasting, I guess, would be the Pro Cars, if Jonathan's available. But, okay, cool. So we appreciate that. But in any case, thank you everybody for watching this 5th Detroit Grand Prix. Again, John Team wins in convincing fashion for Anders, John Team, Jonathan Asserclint, and Juha Boss, and Richard Wilks, who joined us earlier. This is Jason White saying so long from Detroit. We'll see you on our next broadcast. Everybody take care and be safe.